Hello, everybody. Hey, we are back
Oh.
with more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session. Wait, which session is this? Hold up.
3.
Hold. I think I got the.
Seven.
I think I got the title
I was
wrong.
trying to kill Collateral.
Yeah, I got the title wrong.
Wow,
This
this kid.
is well, I have it as session 178, but it is session 179.
Ooh.
My bad. My bad. Alright, it's fixed now. We're back with more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It's session 179, and the party be doing shiz. So let's go ahead and jump into a recap of the previous session, shall we? Previously, on the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, in the region of Dreams, Dalcor, the party aptly dreamt, guided on a journey by the moon elf dreamer Amos Laria. Their goal to find and rescue Velena, Matashtai's quarry spirit and most important companion, who had sacrificed herself in order to save his life from the deathly magics of the Archmage Gorthax Avrindar. Upon arriving in Dalcor, the dream had rejected the party, separating them. While each of them resisted their own embattled dream, Emislaria searched for them, binding them within their dreams to herself and then guiding them further along their path. She had already found and bound Ezrah after the sorcerer endured an elemental nightmare that touched on his traumas. Next, she located Ashes. The Blood Hunter was undergoing a memory of his past, though it was twisted by the dreams. It was a time not too long past when he had been nearing the end of his training, but was technically not a full-fledged Blood Hunter, at least not in the eyes of the Order. A Grand Duke of the nearby city Baldur's Gate, Valarkin, had failed a hostile takeover of the city. Afterward, he and his lycanthropic allies had ventured into the Wood of Sharp Teeth, intent on reclaiming the ancient city of Velar. The Order could not allow this perversion and abuse of the curse, the gift, to prevail, and so they gave battle against the former Grand Duke. Ashes and his compatriots of the time, Clara, Oscar, and Jean, each themselves much like Ashes, not quite fully fledged blood hunters, had been set to guard a pass in case some of the enemy tried to escape. They had not been expected to see battle, but things rarely go as expected. Instead of facing no one, or perhaps a few wounded stragglers, Ashes and his companions faced Valarkin and his retinue, uninjured, having abandoned their allies in the face of the Order's strength. The former Grand Duke was a powerful werebear, armed with a mighty weapon imbued against lycanthropes. In real life, that encounter left Ashes, Clara, and Oscar horribly wounded, and Jean dead. But at this moment, within Dalcor, as Ashes faced his past, he had a chance to, if only for the moment, reshape what had happened. The were bolstered his courage, committing to both his duty and his friendships. He would stop Valarkin, and he would keep his allies safe. And he did. He and his companions tore through the enemy, and for the most part, though the dream fought him along the way, Ashes stayed stalwart, keeping the warping of the dream at a minimum. He and his companions defeated his dream foe, and although it was not reality, it mattered. For it was more than just a wish to change what had happened. It was a promise for the future. A commitment once again from the Were to both his duty and his friends. He had failed both in the past. He would not do so again. Amislaria was able to bind Ashes to her and move further into the dream, searching for the next member of the party. Ash's resolve washed over Ezrah, who had been battered by his own nightmare. Bones would be the next target, since Matashtai needed to be the last dream. What would the party face in the dreams of Shade in the graveyard? And that is where we fade into, well, kind of into our next scene. First, we've got bookkeeping, actually. So before we actually, yay, bookkeeping! Oh no! Before we actually jump into the thick of things, I have to apologize profusely because I have been very, very negligent in my duties here over the last probably like 4 sessions or so.
Negligent.
Because I got a bunch of experience to hand out to the party.
I just assumed dreams were experienceless.
Well, it's not just the dreams. So, as a note, this is something that is has happened in the past, but not always happened in the past. The intention is for it to always happen in the future because character's progression is the party's progression. And technically, all you 4 don't have the exact same experience, but for all intents and purposes, you have very close to the same experience. So,
are we doing milestone?
No, we are not doing milestone. No, absolutely not.
Let me get rid of these numbers. God damn it!
No. I like giving out actual experience. I do understand the value and worth of milestone, but that is not this campaign. No. What is happening is in the past I have done this, but not all the time. I'm going to do this now, and then going forward, going to try to do it all the time as well. But when characters themselves meet specific goals, that deserves experience. And that experience will be the party's experience, not just that character's own experience. So, Matashtai gains the party 200 experience for completing his training in persuasion. You do not. Cool. You don't have to take note of this if you don't want to. I'm gonna do a copy pasta at the end of this list into the game chat. So there is that.
I was adding a notepad or.
Matashtai earns the party for his talisman advancement 400 experience points as he moves from being able to do common to uncommon talismans. Ashes gains for the party. Due to his potion advancement, 800 experience as he moves from being able to do uncommon to rare potions. And then Ezrah gains the party 500 experience for conquering his nightmare. And Ashes gains the party 500 experience for making it through his memory. So, let me go ahead and copy pasta that on over to everybody. Okay, that is in the game chat, so everyone should have that now. And make it so that, yeah, that should be 2,400, I believe.
2,200? Oh, no, 24. There's an extra 200 in there. Yep.
How dare you math at me, Jake? How dare you?
I should know better. I'm bad at math in general.
129370 is what I got.
Okay.
370?
That's what I got.
Okay, yep.
129,240.
Next level up is 140, right?
29,240.
Believe so.
Yeah, that
sounds right.
Alrighty. You guys are a little over halfway between last level and next level. Okay. That is what I needed to do as far as bookkeeping goes. So we have done that. And now we move on. But in order to do that, I need to do 2 things. I need to change scenes. Are you gonna fuck me, Streamlabs?
Every time. Oh, the Streamlabs. Yep. Okay.
truly remarkable how you have gifted me with this singular moment of ease, Streamlabs. I praise you. Everyone, please offer a blood sacrifice to the Streamlabs.
Where's my knife?
To keep it happy. Okay. Cool. Now we change some music. All right. Ezrah. And Ashes. It's not just, I'm not coming back at you, Ezra. We go back to an Ezra nightmare.
No more storms.
Ezra and Ashes. You have moments of lucidity now. You feel yourselves contained, almost swaddled in a warm, binding energy. You are carried along through the stuff of dreams by your guide, the moon elf Anislaria. She occasionally speaks to you, but she doesn't converse with you. It's always offhanded remarks or curses in frustration. She is making progress, but there seems to be some difficulty in navigating this overly hostile terrain. Terrain? Question mark? Would you call a dreamscape terrain?
I would call it that, yes.
Yes.
But
So, cheers.
nevertheless, she does begin to close on your third compatriot. Bones.
Go Tut.
Hello.
It's darkness all around you. Not uncommon for a dream, but there is a presence. Somewhat familiar as a presence at this point. You feel something in the darkness around you. You hear a slight hissing sound. You hear what sounds like a strange, unintelligible serpentine language. A mixture of hisses, clicks, snaps, and a strange smell that hits you with a concerning twist.
Damn, I love smells.
You're surrounded by darkness, but as you smell this strange oddity on the horizon, it's almost as if you see the smell. You see, it's like the mirage of a desert, right? Like the heat waves coming up off something especially hot. But you see these hues of gray, right? The darkness around you shifting to be varying different interpretations or shades of gray. And then two large indentations shift amongst the gray. Jet black. they're not eyes, but it feels as if they see you. It takes you a second before you make a comparison in your mind to snakes that you've seen in the past, right? To pit vipers that you've seen in the past. And these two little indentations seem to almost be sensing you.
Oh, she getting yelled at.
You feel more of this presence. It doesn't feel menacing. It doesn't feel hostile, but it doesn't feel good, right? And it just seems to perceive you for an exceptionally long period of time, just content to sit there and watch you. Do you do anything? Or try to do anything?
Say Papa.
It's just watching me. And it's just all darkness. There's no terrain.
There's no terrain, no. No up,
Okay.
no down, no really anything except for what you would consider. You don't even so much have like a physical form, just as so much as you have like a this is you, this is your being, and then there is this amorphous kind of like shifting color pattern of grays that seems to represent some serpentine figure.
Okay. I try and speak at it. You know, I've got no mouth, but I try and speak at it. Hey, I see you there. I've seen you the last few nights. What do you want?
It doesn't speak to you,
Mm.
but the smell is this hot, almost kind of spicy scent. And it's... when you smell it, it just, in your mind, it just clicks as an interpretation of you.
Here I am.
Different smell shifts. This one colder and with this kind of like tinge of longing. Says, or again, not a language, but as you smell it, it just kind of like clicks in your mind this slight like mirage-y image of supplication.
No. I'm the king.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the king.
Look at me.
I am the
I'm
king.
the king now. Like, kings don't bow to snakes.
You done died 26 times.
I love Bug.
Oh, she's got a headset on and everything. She living that good life.
Lippo, run away from me. Lippo is here in cat form to help Bones. Now she gonna run away.
Thanks, Cat
Her
Lipo.
asymmetric
Thanks, Cat
mustache.
Your rejection causes the
With your 20.
trying to think of how that would actually go down. Your rejection in the face of that kind of like response, the smell shifts and you don't get a vision with it. You just sense immediate hostility.
Sure. Makes sense.
Do anything?
Yeah, I mentally bow up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Roll me an intimidation check.
Okay. I have that button. It's right here. That's a 4.
Is that one of the only things you're not proficient in?
There's about half that I'm not.
Fair enough. You've experienced this yourself in nature. You've done it to things in nature. You've had things do it to you in your past. Intimidation, bowing up at something, can be a very valuable natural tool. Unfortunately, in this case, it does not seem to phase the presence in any way, shape, form, or fashion. However, it does, after a moment, begin to retract, begin to pull back from your perception. You have potentially a brief moment before it is beyond your perceivable kind of like dream.
Say, hey, come back. Work with me. I won't be under you.
Only
But
persuasion check.
persuasion is under perception. That's a 3. Sorry, a 5?
The presence continues its retreat, and after a moment, is gone. You are alone, surrounded by nothing but darkness and your own thoughts.
Sweet. I love just murky darkness. It's one of my
And-
favorite things.
A interminable amount of time passes. You're just there. Nothing doing. No dreams. No shift in terrain. No other presences. Nothing to perceive. Just alone in your thoughts.
All right, well, I use this time to start thinking and planning how I'm gonna carve some stuff and what I'm
Okay.
gonna do.
Sure. What?
What do you mean? What you just said? What?
What does Bones think about?
What you thinking about? What you thinking about?
I'm thinking about my goggles. I'm like, how can I make them better? Or what's gonna happen?
Okay.
How can they fit my face better? I don't want them sliding around.
Oh. Thank you very much.
Like, ooh,
for
if I
subs.
shave off too much on this side, it might break. But it's kind of looking chonky.
Okay. So Bones is surrounded by darkness in a dream world, in a different world's dream world, waiting to be collected by his dream guide, having faced down an incredibly hostile presence, and just decides, oh well, might as well start thinking about crafting.
I got downtime. Look, if you got
I
time
actually-
to lean, you got time to clean/plan.
I love that. That seems very apropos. Bones, you just think and plan and plot and come up with ideas for a little while. Roll me a d20.
That's 7.
Whether you come up with good ideas or not is questionable, but
They seem like great ideas to me.
they seem like great ideas at the time. Time passes, and you begin to smell something familiar, at least semi-familiar. It touches the back of your mind as reminiscent of your past. A little ways in your past at this point. It's hot, not spicy this time. And you're not just smelling the heat, it's the associated things that go with it. What happens in warm, moist terrain, hot stenches. You begin to hear animals, insects, and piece by piece, little spots of color brighten in the darkness until you find yourself in a familiar terrain. It's Maztica, or at least, one
dream.
portion of Maztica. To say that Maztica is one specific place is kind of doing it a disservice. It's like saying Faerun is one specific place and one specific location speaks for the entirety of it. There are vast jungles and savannas, deserts, and other more temperate climates in Maztica, but this is a place that you're somewhat familiar with, more on the edge of savanna and jungle, moist swamplands, locations that were previous haunts for you and your former tribe. It's been a while since you left them, since you forged your own path out into the world in an attempt to kind of figure out who and what you wanted to be outside of a place that was not against you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Your tribe was not hostile towards you. As you have said, you have still 2 parents that are alive and well, but the tribe was full. Not that it didn't have space for you, but that it already had all the things that it needed to survive. to be successful. You could have made your way. You could have forged a path within the tribe. But there were already bone carvers. There were already hunters. You smell here slight differences in the reality. There is almost too much water here. Everything's a little too soft underfoot. More than just a marsh, it's almost as if everything is ready to kind of like melt away. As you have the thought, you actually see a tree across the way droop a little bit. Just kind of like almost as if it's paint or some sort of wet clay substance just kind of slowly start to tilt.
Huh.
As you become more aware of your surroundings, you realize you're laying down on the ground, surrounded by leaves, grass, small plants, ferns. You're hidden. You're camouflaged. And then you recall why you're camouflaged. But at the same time, you know this isn't a memory. It's one of those weird dream moments where you know what's supposed to happen, but this never actually happened in real life. Whether it was, a wild fantasy of yours, or if it's just the nature of this place playing tricks with your emotions or your mind, you know what you're doing here. You know what is supposed to happen. You're hunting. You're laying in wait to ambush your prey. And this is a big one. This will be huge for the tribe if it succeeds. But the risk is great. You hunt dangerous prey. But the plan is yours. You've come up with it. And if it works, if it goes right, then you will be it pauses for a moment. You realize in your brain, right, or in your mind, that you'd kind of given into the dream, right? When you realized you knew what was going to happen, you kind of let yourself get sucked into this is the dream, this is the plan, this is what's going down scenario. You have a moment where you disconnect, right? Where you're having the thoughts of the dream version of Bones, and then you have your own thought as well. Dream Bones is about to undergo something incredibly risky. But if it pays off, you realize that if if it pays off, the thought process is that Dreambones will have made a place for himself in the tribe.
Mhm.
And you have this moment of disconnect, right? Where it's like, that's not my life anymore. That may have been a desire in the past. It may be a desire in the future. But that's not your life right now. And the dream twists ever so slightly. We'll talk more about how it twists in just a moment. But for now, I need to describe your plan to you, Bones. Your
Okay.
ingenious plan.
I am ingenious.
Quote unquote. You are hunting an incredibly dangerous prey that is normally unhuntable. It's just so out of the realm of possibility. Such a rarity in and of itself, first off. And then so dangerous, second off. And then, well, there was a time when Maztika was not on the surface of Toril. When it had been shifted to the sister realm of Abir, a land of dragons. At that point in time, the massive the massive aqueducts underneath the continent of Maztika, the aqueducts which were responsible for a lot of the terrain and environmental features of the continent. The aqueducts which were responsible for the lush jungles of Maztika. They became filled with dragon turtles.
Cool. Yeah, we have damn turtles.
Dragon turtles are far, far too massive a prey for a tribe like yours, a tribe like any, to hunt. And honestly, the type of water sources that dragon turtles require to even surface in are typically too large for the area in which you and your tribe inhabit. But their young are different.
Yeah, baby dragos.
Still quite formidable creatures, still quite dangerous in their own right. However, significantly smaller. They are more able to swim up through the smaller tunnels, the smaller cracks of the aqueducts that leak up onto the surface of Maztika, that create literal watering holes. And you found one. You saw it surface. The problem is these little fuckers are nigh impervious when they get in their shells. And regardless of whether they get in their shells or not, they will just duck back into the water, into the aqueduct. And how are you supposed to do anything about that? How are you supposed to chase that down? You had an idea. And you waited. Kept coming back. and over again, this same young dragon turtle kept coming back. Approximately the same time, every third day or so. Until you got a pattern down. Until you got a plan down. Because you know from stories and from experiments on smaller turtle specimens how to keep a turtle from hiding in its shell.
Fire. Explosive.
Smoke it out.
Any reptologists or whatever it is, right? Don't come at me. This is all obviously made the fuck up. Look, there's something like that.
I'm willing to
anyways,
believe it's reptologist.
I don't remember what it's called.
Herpetology is the
Herpetology,
study
there
of
we go.
reptiles,
There we go.
amphibians, and
there we go.
snakes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I knew there
herpos.
was a version. I just didn't know what the proper word was. Thank you. And you've come up with an idea to keep it from going back into the aqueduct.
Okay.
Plan?
I'm ideaed up.
The plan is this. You and 3 members of your tribe will lie in wait. Are lying in wait. In ambush. When the creature rises, one of your tribe, the strongest, brute strength, will rush forward and grab it by its tail. As that happens, another, already lying in wait on the banks of the pool that this creature will emerge from, has a long, stout plank that he will shove underneath the dragon turtle while his ally holds on to its tail, blocking the turtle's exit. It's a Bones plan. Get out of my life. That's absolutely a Bones plan. Fuck you.
Sure. Grab it and put a plank under it.
While that happens, you and the third ally will rush forward and cut the head from the creature. Killing it.
That's a Bones plan.
Killing it. And with a plank under it and one person holding its tail, it won't just drift back into the water. You have that slight disconnect, right? Where you realize you are disconnected from the dream self that is experiencing this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And something twists in the dream. As you realize that that's not your life. It's who you were, but not who you are. And so you see these mental images of members of your tribe. Members of your former tribe shift into members of your tribe.
Okay.
As you see this mental image of Hibble, Groin, and Blarg lying in wait under, much like you, under these ferns, shrouded in grasses, all around this pool of
What?
water.
What's in your mouth, bud?
Also at this point, I wanna try to start doing this more frequently. This is, you can get this map on Roll20. This is the Steppe and Savannah Map Pack 1 by Gut Design. It's got a lot of Savannah / jungle scenarios on it that are really, really cool. So yeah, anyways. It's like $5 for like 20-something maps, and that shit's real useful. Anyways, it's time for rollies. Jay, Jake, Mitch, please roll a d20 for me. Highest gets to pick first.
4.
Why does Mitch always win the rollies? Why does Mitch always win the
Three,
rollies?
3 for 3
It's-
rollies.
It's okay. He always wins and then picks the worst, so it's fine.
All right, what are my options again?
Okay. I will give you not
Pibble,
only your
Gruin, Blarg.
options, I will give you not only your options, but also their responsibilities.
Okay.
Blarg, the bugbear captain of the Skull Takers kind of guard type scenario. Blarg is in charge of grabbing the tail and making sure this thing doesn't escape.
Okay.
Groin is the closest to the pool, laying under some ferns with a big ass log that's all muddied up so he can slide it underneath the dragon turtle. Baby dragon turtle. Clarify. Pibble is opposite of Bones on the north side, waiting in the wings to sprint forward and stab this thing in the face. Well, technically cut its head off, but stab this thing in the face. What do you want to do?
Well, the lamest job sounds like the log job, so I'm going to take that one.
You're gonna take the log job?
Wow.
All right.
Wow, look at
Like,
that.
I feel like
Yes.
my planning jobs or planning abilities are really getting dragged here.
What?
Put
I
a
think
log
this
under
is-
it and stab it in
I
the
mean-
face.
I mean, it is a drag unturtle.
This is a great plan. What are you talking about? All right. Matashtai has selected Groin.
I'm log boy.
Ezra, you're up next.
Lark,
Blarg. All right.
I'm gonna hold that tail.
Oh, you better hold that tail. Okay. Let
Always hold
me
it.
go and select.
And I choose bones.
Okay, there you go. That's how that works. All right.
Sweet. I want to be Pibble.
Matashtai. I will say this is a
Yeah.
dream version of of Bones when Bones was in, well, not quite, but a younger version of Bones, kind of like warped by the dream. So
Nice. I like being warped.
warped.
So sort of like ashes.
Yeah, sort of like Ash's scenario. So, Ezra.
Is there a baby bones? sheet?
There will be a baby bones sheet. Uno
Baby.
momento.
Bone?
And then I need to take Pibble away from Bones and give that to Ashes.
No.
All right. So, Jake, Jay, and Mitch, you should have access to Pibble, Groin, and Blarg in the Skull Takers sheet.
Oh, and skull takers. Okay, I was looking.
Yes.
Gotcha. Blarg, Blarg.
And then Burns.
Hello.
Good.
Sorry, which one was mine? Was mine Pibble?
Yours is Pibble.
Pibble.
Bones should have access to a lower level version of himself.
Under what heading?
Just got there. It should be under the PC headings, but it should be all the way at the bottom underneath the other tabs.
Underneath. Oh, bones level 6. Got it.
Yeah,
I'm
there we
here.
go. Fantabulous. Now I get to do the thing. All right. Everyone. Oh, nope. Don't do that. Close. Everyone's on the map. All right. Buttons.
Hello.
Your dream sense tells you that this moment, this kind of like overly long ambush moment, is a dream. It's not reality. It never happened. But it also doesn't, because it's a dream, follow linear timeline.
Okay.
A
Doesn't follow
la,
linear timeline.
you get the sensation that this happens when you want it to happen.
Okay.
Do you dream bones / disconnected real bones? Do you do anything? Think anything? Say anything?
I'll look around. See them all. Oh, I think I see bubbles.
Everybody's at the ready. It's time to shift into some music.
PX, you don't need that. You're a dog.
Wait a second.
I need it.
That's not the
Don't you tell him
that's
what
not the
he
right
needs or
music.
doesn't
Ignore that
need.
one. This is the right music.
I prefer the other one.
We'll get there. It's insects and chirping and the sounds of this kind of like border region of the savannah / the jungle all around you. And indeed, there is this noise of bubbles. And of course, Discord just completely cut out all of that.
No, I heard
No.
it.
No.
Oh, wow.
Some of it came through.
Bloop, bloop.
Good. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I need everyone to select their tokens and roll for initiative.
I'm growing, right?
Situations
You are
are
groin, yes.
inevitable. Dude, I have not rolled above a 10.
You have been not rolling tonight. It might end up being a thing.
I don't even know if I rolled above a
Groin's
fucking...
coming in hot.
I haven't even rolled above a 5.
No wonder you like playing a rogue. It normally doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Normally it doesn't matter.
Well, thank God for that, honestly.
All right. Dream apparitions, the thoughts representations of Groin, Pibble, and Blarg. It seems somewhat fitting, Bones, as you execute this perhaps ill-planned plan. The thing that a dreaming mind might come up with. It seems fitting that you are joined here not by representations of a tribe that you left some time ago, but instead representations of a tribe that you have spent the last while forging.
Yeah, my new boys.
New boys in the crew.
Shell breaks the surface of the water. Tentatively, at first. Just reaching the surface. A massive, stony-looking head rises about 2 deep-seated eyes, almost like crocodile eyes, lifting up
I throw
out
the
of
log
the
under.
water. Oh god. Alright, plan fails. It's done. GG.
What are you talking about? Great.
I was told to throw the log under.
This entity is it's kind of warped, it's kind of misshapen. It doesn't match exactly what a dragon turtle probably should look like, but it's here, rising up out of the water, and as it scans you and your tribe, this is your plan, Bones. You and your tribe are expertly hidden. Each
We are
one
experts.
slathered in mud, covered in plant matter and insects at this point, because you've all been laying here in theory for a long time, even though it's a dream. There is no way that this creature notices you.
How long would you say
So
we've been here?
slowly, this thing lumbers up onto a more solid section of this pool, and greedily its head it goes out, elongated neck, longer than you might think, and it begins to very greedily like pull at the ferns and wallow them down, eating basically almost halves of these plants in these massive snapping bites. And you realize for a second, whoever's at the head of this thing is going to have a hell of a time if it gets a chance to bite.
True.
We got this.
The plan is for the strongest to grab it by its tail.
Stop licking me. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Who wants to start?
I throw the log under.
Oh,
No.
no light means I get no sound. I don't know why my
How long
headset
have you
just
had
does
no
that
sound?
sometimes. Sometimes it's just like literally like, no, I quit.
I thought he was just ignoring you in your color commentary.
I thought
Nope.
so too.
Didn't hear anything. Sorry, what got said?
Just ignoring
It was,
me.
it
It's
was,
fucked
it was
up.
for the better. He
Was-
said he
was
throws
it?
the log under like 5 times now.
not gonna
No, I said it twice. I also asked how long have we been here?
It's a dream. So you've been here for 2 seconds, and you've been here for 24 hours.
Okay, so Groin's been here for 24 hours. Rolling d20. Okay, meets it, beats it. It was under a 10. I was gonna say he was asleep.
Oh, God damn it! All right, fair enough. All right, okay.
No, what is happening?
No, nothing yet.
Log.
We were just determining whether or not Mitch was awake or not.
Great.
He seems to be awake. That's good, at least.
Yeah, I'm awake, so I don't know why you're upset.
All right, who's doing what?
Log.
Stand up. I whip my storm boomerang at it.
Okay. All right. We're doing some stuff.
As a signal to begin.
Okay. Let's go. Whip that storm boomerang.
Okay, I'm hidden, so I get advantage, right?
He whips. He hidden. Yes, you are hidden.
Yeah, but storm boomerang.
I spoke too soon. Immediately, I swapped to a. Why do you hate me, Streamlabs? We offered you sacrifice earlier.
I cut myself.
Sacrifice.
There was blood everywhere.
Blood everywhere. All right, sweet. 24 hits. Fantastic.
All right, roll your Constitution save or be stunned.
Constitution saving throw?
That's what it says.
Well, this is Don't worry about this. Oop, oop. I got a 22.
Go, go! I've drawn its ire!
You do, I mean, you do hit it. There's this loud, like, crack as the Storm Boomerang hits it in the head, and it immediately yells, and I'm assuming everyone springs into action. Very nice. So, we are going to go in order of operations, not in turn order, because technically this isn't really combat yet. Blarg and Groin, you both jump into action, I'm assuming? Fantastic.
I tried to log and no one would let me, so...
Groin, you finally get to run forward with the log. Please. How are you trying to get this log under this fucking baby dragon turtle?
That's what I was trying to say. Doesn't he have to, like, lift his tail up for you to slide it under?
That might help.
Is it a colonoscopy?
Or, sorry, Groin. Does Blarg... My bad. Groin is doing the log. Blarg, do you want to lift the tail first?
Yes.
Okay. What do you
Job
do?
unclear. I roll log under the front of it.
Welcome to Brains While You're Sleeping. Who has ever, like, fully enacted a complicated plan in
Okay.
dream mode?
I actually do have a story about this. Last night, so I've been Cassandra's been taking melatonin, so I've been taking like one or two, like whenever. Sometimes they're gummies, so they're fun to eat.
Yeah.
So last night I had a crazy dream. It's the latest in a series of dreams I've been having. Okay, in this one I had killed Michael Jordan. Okay.
Okay.
What the fuck? Okay.
I didn't know what to do with them, so I called Jordan.
The,
Who brought
the,
a pick?
the
brought a
basketball
pickaxe.
player or the actor?
The baseball player, actually.
There you go.
So I knew he was gonna make a face. So Jordan brought a
That's pretty
pickaxe, and we pickaxed out the concrete in the middle of my living room floor in my apartment. Okay. We put Michael Jordan in there. Okay, then we called a concrete truck, which was driven by this like African American with a big fro. Okay. And then he's like, "Oh shit, she's doing it." And she started doing this like big like presentation with like a flowing gown and stuff. But then she saw it was Michael Jordan there. She said, "I'm not doing this." I said, "Look, he died on accident." And then she just drove away. He didn't die. Then I killed him.
And that's dreams, yo. Dreams
Yeah.
don't make any fucking sense, and they're real fucking weird. So, Blarg, how the fuck do you want to go about dealing with this dragon turtle and its tail?
I use my muscles, and I pull it where I want it to go.
You do you, fam. Move and tell me what you're doing.
I take steps into water, and
Splash into the shallows.
I find purchase.
Tail's kind of waving around in front of you.
And I clasp and yank.
Roll me an athletics check. A 16. Wait, do you have advantage?
I feel like
Not that
bugbears
I
always
saw.
have advantage.
I don't know.
Not that I am aware of.
They have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, stunned, or put to sleep.
Damn, are you
Right.
being charmed, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, or put to sleep?
I don't
Okay.
know. How hot is the dragon turtle?
The dragon turtle has a
Do I
plus
see a
5.
hole? If I see a hole, then I am charmed.
There are a lot of holes around here. Dragon turtle has plus 5. Needs to beat a 16. Does not. It's a struggle. It's a rodeo, right? But Blarg runs up and basically like grabs this, and this tail is as thick around as Blarg's chest, his barrel chest is. So you just kind of like bear hug the thing and have to like yank upwards. As that happens, Groin, you are presented for a easier opportunity to get your plank underneath at least a portion of this dragon turtle, this baby dragon turtle. What do you want to do, and how do you want to do it?
You say Blarg or Groin?
Did I say Blarg again? Groin!
Okay.
What's wrong with me?
With the tails up, I run forward with my log.
Okay.
And I stick it up its butt.
Okay. You get about halfway there, and the log turns into a massive spaghetti noodle.
Okay, using the momentum of my run, I turn my body, twisting and swing it like a giant wet noodle and slap it in the face.
Halfway
To stun
through your
the
swing,
turtle.
it turns back into a log.
Okay, I beat it in the face with the log. With the same momentum.
Roll me an athletics check to cold cock the baby dragon turtle.
You said athletics? Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a 12. All right.
That's not bad.
Baby dragon turtle is gonna try to make a Constitution saving throw against that. It's got a +5. It rolls a fucking 1. You smack the shit out of this baby dragon turtle in the head with a fucking log, and it's stunned. It does what the storm boomerang couldn't. The fucker's stunned. Pibble and
Probably out of
Bones.
confusion.
I then action surge.
No. I mean, you do you, fam. Actually, if you want to action surge, by all means, have at it.
I was going to action surge and try to then keep the momentum going and uppercut it with the log to flip it over.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
He's action searching. All right. Uppercut it. Roll me a athletics check at advantage. You need to be 15 in order to like knock it on its back. Like
I fail.
you like smack it in the jaw, right? But you don't hit it. You're not so swole that you woof, like dream manipulate, knock it up onto its back type scenario. You just hit it in the face again.
Damn.
Damn. All right. Bones and Pibble. The plan's kinda happening. I mean, Blarg has it by the tail, and Groin is hitting it in the face with a fucking log. It seems stunned. Would you two like to execute your X-Slash?
Yeah.
Yeah, we execute.
Execute. All right, both of you run forward.
Naruto run.
Obviously. 5, 15.
Fantabulous. Wonderful. Both of you roll me an attack at advantage.
That is
21.
not the correct sheet. This is the correct sheet.
That did
At
roll
advantage. Ashes.
Jerry, do I have this double-bladed scimitar? I didn't learn this. I didn't have this back then.
You did?
Whoops. Wrong button.
No.
Yeah,
but
not
I do.
upgrade.
But
I'm saying you absolutely didn't back then, but you do in your dream.
All right, I slash it. I missed the
22.
double-bladed scimitar. I should make a better one.
Bring it back. 22 hits. 20 hits. Fantabulous. Thing is stunned. You both also sneak attack, so roll your sneak attack.
Snake.
Snake.
Somebody,
12.
goddamn, somebody total that damage for me.
23 plus 22 is 45.
45.
Oh wait, did you make 2 attacks? Oh, you multi-attacked.
No. He
No, I
he
accidentally
rolled
clicked
with
the button.
advantage. He rolled with advantage. Or
I didn't
failed to
even
roll
click
with advantage
multi-attack.
initially, so the second attack is as an advantage attack.
Yeah. Yep.
So ignore the damage on the second attack. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's wrong. Then it's 20 plus 23.
43. Alright, 43. Cool. Blarg runs forward, barrel chests, grabs the tail, lifts up. The thing's already been smacked in the head by a storm boomerang. It then gets lifted, its butt lifted up in the air, right? Expecting a log to follow soon. Blarg's just kind of like standing there, like, lifting up. Groin has a mishap with his log. It turns into a spaghetti noodle, and then it turns back into a log. And Groin smacks the shit out of the fucking dragon turtle in the head, stunning it for a brief moment as Pibbles and Bones dash forward and execute a X-slash across the throat of the dragon turtle. They swap places on the sides of the thing as they kind of like dash across the water.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And they chop the fucking head off of this fucking baby dragon turtle immediately.
Yeah.
It dies. And now Blarg, because there's no log underneath the thing, Blarg is just holding up this dragon turtle body, which weighs hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And
Why
it
don't you let that go?
It's like whoosh. It sinks into the water and is trying to take Blarg with it. What is everyone doing in response to try to fix this situation?
Sorry.
I grab it.
Oh.
Okay, you're gonna grab it and add your weight to it, Bones?
I'll grab the shell. I'll be like,
Okay.
Put the log! Put the log!
I continue
I-
to drag onto the shore.
All right.
I quickly throw the log under.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that this thing is incredibly heavy.
Yeah.
It's
But it's in water.
It's massive. Yes, it is. It's in water, and it is sliding down. Now that it's not holding itself up, right, on the edge of the embankments, the bulk of its body, which is in the water that goes down into a massive aqueduct, is just sinking down into that.
Bro, are you
that
telling
deep
me
water.
the turtle is negatively buoyant?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm telling you that.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough then.
Yep, 100% telling you that. Blarg is going to be the chief scenario here. It's going to be on Blarg to make sure that this thing doesn't sink before the log can get under and pinned under it. Okay? So in order to try to execute this situation, Blarg is going to be rolling an athletics check against a pretty high DC because this thing is very heavy. Bones and Pibble are going to do athletics checks. If they succeed, they will reduce the overall DC of Blarg's check. Okay? The current DC of Blarg's check is 25. All right?
That's a lot. That's a
It's
large number.
quite high, right? That actually is still achievable for Blarg on its own, on their own, but is very difficult, right? Pibble and Bones, I'm gonna need a DC, we'll say 12 athletics check for you to try to make a difference. Each success will reduce the DC for Blarg by 5.
I didn't do it.
I did
In
it.
fact, I possibly made it worse.
That's an acrobatics check.
That's acrobatic. Sorry.
What's
Reading
What's your-
is difficult.
he doesn't have,
If
he
you
probably
don't
doesn't have an
one,
athletics.
then it's strength.
What
Oh.
is your strength modifier? We'll just
It
add it to your
is my modifier. My modifier is -1.
All right, so
Your
we
strength
both made it-
modifier is
we
-1?
Both made it
Yeah, I have
worse.
8 strength.
Oh no, that's fair. Both Pibble and Groin are more dexterous individuals. I guess so is Bones. All right,
Yeah.
Blarg, I need an athletics check from you. Your DC is 25.
Good luck. Close.
He tried really hard.
You just needed.
I'm gonna use my DM inspiration because why the fuck not?
Okay.
Why the fuck not?
That's why
right.
the fuck not.
Damn.
He's tried so hard.
Damn. Damn. Damn.
Oh, shit,
Damn. All right.
Guidance. No, it's not Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately, The creature's girth, or just its sheer weight, is too much, and it is sinking too rapidly into the water. Blarg and Pibble and Bones are trying to hold it up, right? And Groin at this point is now trying to shove the log underneath it, but it's too little, too late. Groin can't get the log at an angle. He just kind of like is shoving the log scraping against the shell of the creature and trying to like pin it, but there's no way that he has the strength to do that. Blarg and Pibble and Bones are trying to hold the thing up, and it's not like it just sinks out of sight immediately, but slowly but surely you're getting dragged deeper into the water, and slowly but surely your grip is slipping. When
probably, I think there's a T-Rex coming.
Above you, you hear the
Sounds more like an allosaur.
You hear the flapping of wings and this intense, very, very loud rumbling sound that rises into a roar. And as it does, Bones, you have another memory.
Hello.
You have...
Oh no, Melon.
You have a memory of... Oh, wrong one.
Oh
I
yeah.
regret using my action surge now.
No, that was the good memory. This is the bad
You thought
memory.
this was the whole dream?
Bones, you have another memory. You have memories of... This is also the wrong... Where the fuck?
Is this
Is
from
it this
Sword
one?
Art Online?
I don't think so. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think so. You have another memory of it's not so much a memory per se. It's not a memory of like a specific moment. It's memory of times and feelings and conversations of your time in Maztica while it was in Aber.
Okay, it's a dragon. Everyone, it's a dragon.
And of the
Sorry, what?
many threats that you faced. Not only dragon turtles in your water system, but dragons that burrowed through the ground and flew through the skies, dragons that inhabited your trees, dragons that just existed almost as if they were thought or thin air. Aber is a world of dragons. And there were a few that were consistent thorns in your side, or more specifically in the side of your tribe. There were dragons that were threats to the hunters. Dragons that would compete for the same prey. This is one of the reasons why a hunt like this is so dangerous. Because prey of this size attracts attention. And you see flying through the sky, hurtling towards you and your allies. And this is a very disconnected moment for you, right? Because, like, Dream Bones is still in the muck with Pibble and Blarg trying to lift this dragon turtle up out of the water, and suddenly, like, slow motion turning to look up and see this shape flying in. While Real Bones, right, is kind of like this disconnected scenario, and like, oh. As you see, flying in from the distance, Wardendrager. What?
Hey, Quetzalcoatlus.
No, not that would have been really cool though. I should have done that. No, you see the midnight black scales of Wardendrager, a kind of a nemesis for your tribe. She has stolen dozens of your tribe's larger kills over the past several years. And she's here to take this. I need everyone to actually roll initiative. Actually roll initiative. Your previous initiatives were fake. You
But
suck.
Jeremy, I liked my 22. Can I have that back and not the natural 1 that I rolled?
25.
Yeah. You could have if you used your DM inspiration on it.
Fuck off.
All right. Here's the fun thing. We had opportunities. The dream likes to warp and fuck around. And what is going to happen now, as Warden Dragger flies in... Ooh, bad.
Nice.
Is that... Bones, you turn. You see Warden Dragger on the edge of this kind of like glade near this watering hole, right? And you know this dragon is coming for your kill. Here's the thing, though. This kill of yours is getting away. You're going to lose it. Well, I mean, it's not getting away. It's dead. But you can't. You're not going to be able to lift it out of this hole. It's going to sink into the depths. But Warden Dragger could lift it up out of the hole.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to give Zach, the player, not Bones, Zach, the player, an opportunity to decide how he wants to approach this. Okay. This is going to be this turn's dream manipulation check. However, I will let you decide whether you want to try to manipulate the dream, beat the DC and manipulate the dream so that Warden Dragger does come in and rather than attacking you, come in and grab the sinking corpse and drag it back up out of the water, right? Or, right, the alternative is that you could choose to just fail and let Warden Dragger do whatever it is she's going to do. Which may be what you want her to do, but might not be. It's the idea that if you try to manipulate the dream and you fail, it's probably going to get mad at you. If you succeed, then obviously you succeed. Or you can just take the gamble of, is it going to naturally do what you want, even if you fail? What do you want to do?
Okay. This is what I want to do. I choose avarice.
You choose avarice? Okay. Interpret that to me.
And
what exactly
no one
does
was
that mean?
Surprised.
I'm gonna let it do what it wants.
You're gonna let it do what it wants.
But
Okay.
when it gets here, I'm gonna try and cut some scales off while it's distracted.
I will say, of note, obviously this is a dream, so who the fuck knows what will actually happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from a realistic standpoint, if this dream were reality, right, or if this dream followed the confines of reality, if this dragon flies in here and grabs this dragon turtle's corpse, it's not going to be able to fly off with it. It's right. Still too heavy even for the dragon turtle, or even for the dragon. But it will be able to drag it up onto the beach and keep it from, falling away. But then the downside is it's probably going to fight you for the body.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the body anymore. I want
You
real dragon
you
stuff.
you just want. Okay, gotcha. All right, sounds like a plan. Okay.
I let it do what it wants. I tell everyone scatter.
I am going to say that this is super cool and very interesting. This is going to be this isn't going to be a manipulation of the dream so much as trying to lean into the dream and kind of con it a little bit. So,
I'm trying to con it.
you're still going to have to make a mental saving throw. Whichever mental statistic you want to use, you can. But your DC is going to be reduced from the normal 20 down to a 15, since you are basically letting the dream do what it wants, which hopefully is going to be what you want, and trying to then piggyback off of it.
Okay, this is off normal bones, right?
This is off normal bones. This is off normal bones, yes.
Dream surfing.
Oh, I did it. I rolled above. Guys, I rolled above a 5.
I will allow on Bones' command of scatter, I will allow every other player, not as a reaction or anything like that, because this is some wibbly wobbly, dreamy weemy stuff. Every other character, Groin, Pibble, and Blarg, can move 15 feet in any direction that they want to move.
Can I move?
No. Because you're there to cut some scales, remember?
Yeah.
So
this is true.
so our plan is to let it try to grab the thing and pull it out of the muck. Right? So you want us to move away from it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we is the intent to be out of breath range? Like we're get out of cone.
Well, okay, so the original intent was to let it grab it, and then while it's distracted, then we get the loot.
Okay.
Is the turtle big enough for me to hide amongst its shell so that I can
Bones yells scatter, and Groin dives into the joint in between the head and the fucking shell.
Groin has never been so insubordinate before.
Right? You're right. Groin has never been so insubordinate before. Love it to death. I am going to say, roll. You absolutely can do it. You can squeeze in there. Whether or not it's a good hiding spot is a different matter. Roll me a stealth check. So you're basically foregoing your movement, jumping into the neck of this creature, and you have a 19 on your stealth check. You have no idea if that is going to be enough. All right. As that happens, Warden Dragger flies in. Warden Dragger is going to to front. Warden Dragger is going to land on top of this thing. Massive talons, both front and hind legs, into it, gripping onto both sides of the shell, and then you hear these wings beating as it's lifting this thing up out of the water and dragging it forward onto the ground. I actually need Young Bones and I believe Blarg and Groin to make me strength saving throws, DC 12, from the force of the air being pushed off of these wings. Groin, you will make yours at advantage because you are sheltered by the nook of the shell within the neck of this fucking thing. Okay?
As it's coming in, Groin's like, "Oh shit, boss! What's the plan?"
Okay. Groin's good.
Can't answer. I'm trying to hide.
Bones is good. Blarg, I need one from Blarg as well.
Sorry. Strength save?
Yep, strength save. DC 12, strength save.
I'm good.
Oh yeah, easy peasy. Everyone stands their ground under the beating wings of Warden Dragger as this creature lands, sees people scattering, right? Feels unthreatened by that. Begins to haul the corpse of the dragon turtle up onto the beach. And Bones, you succeeded on your dream manipulation? Question mark. You kind of like leaned into the dream rather than trying to force the dream to do what you wanted it to.
Dreamy.
Was your intent to scrape scales from the black dragon? Or from the dragon turtle?
The black dragon.
Okay.
The intention was to let him grab it.
Yeah.
Okay, while he's distracted, de-shelling the turtle, then
Sure.
I get some scales. Or talons, or spines, just something cool.
She is absolutely distracted, hauling the the turtle up onto the beach. Oh fuck. Roll me another mental saving throw. DC 10.
Yeah, I'm mental. Yeah, I'm still mental.
He's still mental. I'm going to let you make a I'm gonna let Real Bones make a bone carving check to see if he can snag something from Warden Dragger.
Alright, real bones, bone carving.
You want to roll
say
above
I-
25.
Yeah, I rolled a 36.
You rolled a natural. Oh god.
Is that good or?
You literally took half of its body.
No, you didn't.
Just like,
Yeah, I got a fucking
Dreambone
talon or
steps
some shit?
forward.
Something cool.
Dreambone steps forward and scrapes the double-bladed scimitar against the back leg, not trying to hurt Warden Dragger, but trying to scrape some scales off, right? Distracted. It does nothing. It accomplishes absolutely fucking nothing. But that
Very good.
disconnected Real Bones, right? Like that consciousness just above the surface of the dream, right? Thinks for a moment. And everything seems to slow. And there's this pulse. And then there's this heat. And this spice. And this hiss drawn out along the surface of your mind. And you remember a note that you got from Melanor Fellbranch that mentioned the heart of a great serpent. And Real Bones reaches out into the dream and on a natural 20, a 36, grasps something that beats in his hand.
Damn, that's cool.
We're gonna go to break. We'll be back in just a few minutes for more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.